We're here.
Catching flies in his mouth.
Hey, it's that boy. It's the boy, Joey G. What's going on, everybody? Coming from a different location this week. You know, happy Memorial Day out there for everybody. It's Joey G. You know, keeping it real as I always do. As today's agenda, I gotta show my beautiful eyes to the camera. Am I looking good, Danny Mac? To the camera?
Great.
Is everything good? Great. Spectacular. And I got the whole joint smelling like a friggin' match. But that's a little promo because, you know, future plans in WWE have a lot to do with the Wyatts. Especially Bray Wyatt and Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper. His name was Brody Lee before in Ring of Honor and Indies. He had a lot of feuds with Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, aka the future face of the WWE. Dean Ambrose is the man. If you go back and watch some of his stuff as Jon Moxley in IPW, and we know IPW is like a high school gym full of people, maybe like 50 people he performed in front of. And I was at Jon Moxley's his real name, from Cincinnati, Ohio. His promos are just great. He's like the New Day Rowdy Piper. I mean, Jon Moxley, and I can't call him Dean Ambrose because that's not his real name. Of course, if I'm at a WWE event, I'm going to say, you know, Dean Ambrose of The Shield. But everybody's saying Roman Reigns. Yeah, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, and I got something to say about Seth Rollins. It's breaking news, too, that I got off the internet, off my man Sean Shiz Subscribe, if you all know him. He's a very good guy on the internet, and a lot of my sources I get from him. And he knows his wrestling just like I do, so Sean Shiz, if you're out there, man, wherever you're from, you got a Boston accent, so we're on the East Coast. You ever want to team up? I know my wrestling, you know yours. We can put something together, buddy. But what I'm hearing is that with CM Punk's departure, that he's going to return to wrestling sometime. But AJ Lee, his girlfriend, has said once Phil, which is his real name, Phil Brooks, is done with something, he's done. He's done. So, I don't know. They're talking about putting Seth Rollins in his place, because let's face it, in wrestling-wise in the Shield, Seth Rollins is the best. I mean, you hear the crowd, the cheers in the crowd. Seth is the best. Seth is the best. We were hearing this when the Shield was with the Authority. I was hearing this at SummerSlam last year. You know what I'm saying? Roman Reigns, yes, The Rock's cousin. He can do that punch off the top rope and Dominic. He can do unbelievable moves for a big man, you know? But Dean Ambrose, and we all know, Danny, it all starts with what? A promo. You gotta know how to cut a promo to make people believe you. Jon Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, I don't know why the WWE changed his name. He was fine with Jon Moxley. They should have just kept him as that. I actually saw him on a TNA tryout, and had to be like 2009, before Hogan got there, and it was like 2009, and he didn't make it. I mean, can you imagine if Dean Ambrose would have made TNA in 2009, what TNA would be today? And speaking on TNA, and I don't talk about TNA a lot because just like my man Sean, who has his show, I'm not a big fan of TNA. TNA is in the dumps right now. They're so far behind on production. They're so far behind on everything. They don't even pay their wrestlers. I mean, it's like ECW was at the end. And I just went people don't even, some people that ain't diehard fans like me, I mean, Danny Mac knows about TNA from me. You know what I'm saying? Not saying, you know, Danny Mac ain't a wrestling fan because, I mean, the kid, I watched him grow up. He was a little kid running around with his bottle saying, "Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Piece of trash, piece of trash." Remember that, Danny Mac? When he was a little boy. So, I mean, he knows his shit. But, like, I mean, I heard Kurt Angle walk down the street in New York or up in Rhode Island, and people are like, "Kurt, where you been? where you been for the last 8 years? When are you going to come back to wrestle?" And he says, "I've been wrestling down in TNA." And they're like, "What the hell is that?" And let me tell you people something. TNA is worse than WCW was the day WCW closed. That's how bad TNA is. I mean, it's all right. It's an alternative, but it's not much an alternative. You want to have an alternative to just WWE. Like when they split the brands. You had Raw or you had SmackDown. You know what I mean? Now with the Daniel Bryan situation, you have to watch Raw tonight. I don't have no breaking news of what's going to happen. There's rumors that there was going to be Daniel Bryan versus Kane next Sunday at Payback, and then Buried Alive match. Now there's talking that that match will happen, and Kane's going to win the belt because Daniel Bryan's injured, and then at either Battleground or Money in the Bank, Kane will face Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar will win the belt. And scheduled for SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar versus Batista for the WWE World Title. Batista supposedly was supposed to quit. I mean, he was at the door a week ago, last Monday at this time. Vince screwed him out of the booking. As you know, he's on a show, Galaxy of the Guardians or something, Danny Mac. He's a star. He's a B actor. Like, you know how Stephanie says A+ player, B+ player. Like, The Rock's an A+ actor. Batista's a B. I'm not even going to say B+. He's a B actor. I mean, come on. John Cena's a better actor than Batista. But Batista was very mad a week ago. Also, rumors, Randy Orton, another face turn. Because this Orton is not the same Orton of 2009. When he was punting people in the head. When he punked Vince McMahon in the head. Where he handcuffed Triple H and kissed Stephanie McMahon. I mean, that was the Viper. That night, Stephanie said, get on your knees. If anybody remembers, that was the year 2009 Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble. This Randy Orton heel is like the little crybaby schoolboy who hides behind Triple H and the Authority. This heel turn sucked. He should have stayed face. No, for real. I mean, because I'm a Randy Orton fan. I always have been. I haven't been recently because his heel turn sucked. I thought when he went back to being a heel, he would be vicious again. But be honest with you, I like him better as a face than being a heel like this. This is like a crybaby heel. It sucks. But anyway, let me get on. Sheamus and Wade Barrett, they're going to unify the titles. The U.S. and the Intercontinental. There's really no use for both belts. They want to get the Intercontinental title big again. They're getting rid of the U.S. They're really not going to mind them. You can just say they're getting rid of the U.S. Even, they're going to have a match with Sheamus and Wade Barrett. Even if Sheamus wins, he'll be the Intercontinental Champion. They're getting rid of the U.S. belt. The U.S. belt hasn't been big since the early 90s, late 80s when Lex Luger held it in the NWA, and it was just becoming WCW then. That's when Ted Turner bought it all. But anyway, I'm going to tell a real quick story. And like I said, the future is bright. With Cesaro, with the Wyatts, with Fandango, with all of them. Tyson Kidd and Evan Bourne talking about being a tag team. I mean, you got so much talent. Also, another thing. They're coming up with an angle in WWE. You see Cody Rhodes, Vince wants Cody Rhodes as a heel. That's no doubt, and there's no doubt about that. Cesaro is going to turn face. There was rumored that he was going to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, but now with Lesnar and Daniel Bryan being injured, who else to give the title to? You got to give it to Brock Lesnar. I mean, Cena's had it so many times, and the more talk about John Cena, the face turn, the heel turn might be coming. I don't know if it's going to be a heel turn, but I did read on the internet. Now, this is just from the internet and a couple sources. And even Sean, my man Sean that I listened on the internet, he even said that the way John Cena has been acting, you can tell he's working with mid-carders. He's pounding his chest. He's doing stuff that he never did. And if you can remember, 2 weeks ago on Raw, he actually questioned the WWE Universe before Extreme Rules and said, why would you vote me in a three? Remember they had that poll match on Raw, like this is Memorial Day. This was about 3 weeks ago. It was before Extreme Rules. It was the Monday before Extreme Rules. And they had the poll. Cena fights one of the Wyatts, two of the Wyatts, or all three of the Wyatts. The WWE Universe could vote. They voted Cena for all the Wyatts. So the week after that, the week before Extreme Rules, Cena got on the mic, and he never did this before. He got up and said, why would you do that to me? You know what I mean? Why would you do that to me after everything I've done? And John Cena, Danny, has he ever questioned the WWE Universe?
No.
Usually he sits there and lets them say what he wants. But he has to turn. There's no Vince, you got to put that silver bullet in there and boom! Pull the trigger, Vince. For real. Because I'm not saying turn him into a vicious heel. I mean, hey, Hulk Hogan did it, and look what happened with the NWO, right? I mean, shit. Everybody's going to remember the NWO. And you want to talk who's the best faction of all time, like I said before. The Horsemen, they were cool, but the let me rephrase it. The Horsemen, they were cool for the 80s, but the NWO, DX, that was the clique, and that was cool. Hollywood Hogan was cool, alright? He was cooler than Ric Flair ever was, alright? And say what you want about Hulk Hogan is the man, okay? Also, been watching a lot of shit on the internet. Jon Moxley, mark my words, Dean Ambrose, out of all the stars in the Shield, Dean Ambrose will be the biggest one. And Dean, John, I'm going to call you by your real name because I respect you. If you have any say on this, I would love to be your mouthpiece, to walk there and like be, I remember when you were in Switchblade Conspiracy in the Indies. I would love just to be by your side and say the crazy things and do the crazy gimmicks with you when I get into the business, because I'm gonna. And it's gonna be a ride of a lifetime. Anyway, happy Memorial Day, everybody. I had to get this show, do it. And I'm gonna do another one this week, a short one, but breaking news, also Sting has signed with the WWE. I mean, I know I've said it over the weeks, but it's official. He is signed. But what capacity is he going to come in as? A full-time wrestler? Possibly the Raw and SmackDown GM? And stop having the Authority run stuff? Or is he going to go another run? Or is he just going to wrestle The Undertaker at WrestleMania next year and get inducted into the Hall of Fame WrestleMania 32 or 33? Because next year The Undertaker's going in the Hall of Fame. And most likely it's going to be him and Sting, career versus career. Anyway, if y'all remember the Rockers, you remember this outro song. Happy Memorial Day out there. Christy, you know who I mean. Everybody, Danny Mac, happy birthday to my grandmother. Shout out to my boy Leo. Shout out to my cousin Paulie, Mike Buddha Grayo, H. Diesel. I hope you're having a fun time in Florida. And happy Memorial Day. And Mom, I love you, and this is Joey G, and like I said, Jon Moxley. As much as I yell, as much as I scream, just watch his promos, they're awesome. This is Joey G, I'll see you next week. You got anything to say? Write it on my blog, I'll be tweeting it. I'm gonna do a show during the week for all my fans. I'm out, peace. You know if you like it, keep on it. If you don't like it, you know where you can get it. Peace.